Hi folks, welcome back to B29 Restoration Project. So last video, I think we were actually working on the landing gear, getting it cycled, and the timing and the sequencing and all worked out for the new actuators. And then a small disaster struck. The left main landing gear motor decided to die. That may or may not have been in the last video, but yeah, it died. But thankfully, we had a spare, but we didn't. It was dead too. So if you pay attention to our Facebook group, or our Facebook page, I should say, we were kind of doing some internet sleuthing, asked a lot of you guys for your help in trying to figure out these. This is not an exact match to what was in the airplane, but it's pretty dang close. The biggest difference is this one is just a little bit longer, like, I mean, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, but it's mostly because it kind of is, but it's not. This end cap is a little bit longer, but the other ones, they actually had like a boss that stuck out, so they're almost identical in length. The only difference really is where that shaft sticks out. This one might be just a little bit longer, and then the other big difference is the wiring. These actually have wires coming out. The other ones had solder tabs. So yeah, hopefully these will work. We did the gear ratio. We actually took one of these planetary gears off of the motor, did the math, and I think we came up with like 19.13 to 1 or something. These are 19.5 to 1. This is a 19.1 volt DC motor. They do have 24 volt ones. Unfortunately, I could not find anywhere that had them, and the manufacturer wanted like $280 a piece for the motors. These I got for like 83 bucks from Servo Components, I believe is the name of the place. But here we got the left retract. It's already removed. It's been wired, and it's now all back together. We had one little hiccup to where the set screw for this brass dog bone adapter stripped out. We just retapped it, put a 632 in there, all good to go. Now it's just a matter of getting this thing back into there. So yeah, that's the task now. Yep. So as long as the speed between new motor and old motors is not all that significant in difference, the plan is to keep the other two motors that I bought. I bought 3 of these, but to keep the other 2 as spares. That way, if they do burn out, we have 2 extra ones. Like I said, I am running these on a 6S LiPo, so it's about 24 volts, about 5 volts more than what these are rated at. I might drop the retract battery down to a 5-cell LiPo just to keep it kind of closer to that 19.1 volt. But anyway, that's where we're at. It's time to get this thing back on its gear legs. Honestly, this is literally the last thing to do, unless the other 2 motors go bad, but this is really the last thing that the airplane needs, and it's done. We're waiting on 2 propellers still. Hopefully they'll be here in the next few weeks, and we've got to balance it, and there's a little bit of programming to do once it's all together, and the B29 will be done. Y'all enjoy the show. Alright folks, there we have the gear back installed. Should probably get the flashlight out of there so it's not in the way when we go to do it. That was honestly a lot easier to get in than it was to get out. We gotta replace put the door hinge pins on the back side of the doors, but yeah, that's pretty much that gear. Let's see if it'll work. So hopefully I wired it the correct way and it doesn't run backwards. So right now everything's hooked up, just gotta hook up the battery and it will hopefully go the right direction. There we go. And the gear's down. So yeah, that's that one definitely sounds a lot more labored than what the originals sounded like. So a little concerned with that. We'll figure it out here in a bit. So yeah, let's get the rest of the door hinges and everything going, and I'll jack this thing up just a little bit higher, and then we'll run all the gear at once. Right. Now I got the gear door hinges in. For those who haven't seen the gear door video, it's basically just an L-shaped piece of music wire with a loop on the end, and then it's just a little number 2 socket head sheet metal screw with a washer over it to hold it in. This makes it very easy. Just take 2 screws out, well 3 if you include the actuator. 3 screws, 2 pins, the whole door comes off. I wanted to make it easy, that way if the actuators ever failed and I didn't have a spare, I could literally just take that entire door off and not have to worry about it. So that is all 3 gear hopefully functional again. It went down, we'll see if it goes up. It definitely sounded a little bit more labored than the original ones did, so I'm going to move my foam blocks around here to where we can get a little bit of a gap between the wheels and the table surface, and we'll go from there. I'm not going to worry about running the transmitter. I've actually got, it's a mechanical switch that runs the gear, so I can just move the servo and everything on my own. So alright, let's give it a go and see how it works. Well, that new motor is definitely a lot slower than the old ones. So that's not what I was hoping for, but that is what I got. So I guess we'll run it down and see what it does. Alright, well, that's pretty much it for this video. I may or may not replace the motor on that main gear, right there. It's unfortunate that one is so much slower. It's definitely a lot more labored going up compared to the original motors, but with how the original motor labels were cut off, I have no idea or no way of knowing what type of motors were on this to begin with. So I'm really kind of shooting in the dark. I know the motor series that works dimensionally, now it's just a matter of gearbox wise and voltage wise. So it's possible these are 24 volt motors on it. That one being a 19 volt motor on 24 should go faster, you would think, but oh well. So anyways, that's pretty much where we're at right now. It's mostly done at this point. Now it's just fine-tuning stuff, kind of working out shadow stuff from things we don't know. But anyway, till next time, y'all have a good one.